Hi everyone, it's the weekend and my day started quite early today, but I actually managed to get an extra hour lay-in. So instead of waking up at about 6 AM, I woke up at about 7 AM, so that was really good. I've already done a parcel run. I've already dropped my daughter off to work, and now I'm back to start the weekend Q&A. And it's in these weekend videos that all the way through the weekend I take your questions either via Twitter. I've also been picking up some questions via email, and I've also got some questions from the previous Q&A video comments, and then you can also leave me donation requests, and those are by way of Amazon voucher, and that's if you want something like a shout out. But you don't have to do that, you can just ask me questions via Twitter. And this very first one actually is not via Twitter, this was on a previous Q&A video, and Zofath Ali asks, have you seen the Neo Cube? Well, when I first read that question, I thought, well, I haven't. And I did a bit of a Google search and I found the Neo Cube, and you're on about the little tiny round sort of magnets that stick together to form different shapes, or indeed a cube, or at least I hope that's what you're referring to. If it is what you're referring to, then yes, I have actually used what they were called nanodots, and I did a video on those on the channel. And yeah, they're interesting to play with. Not a massive fan, but I can see that people make some really brilliant sort of sculptures with them. So really good, and a great question as well. So thank you for that. The next question came from Alex Anderson. I have a question for the Q&A. Just out of interest, why have you changed the way the reviews are filmed? As in now you are by the Mac on camera, as opposed to on the white table and behind the camera. Not that it matters because the videos are still excellent, just wondered if there was a reason. Well, thank you very much for the question, and I don't want this answer to sound sort of pedantic in any way, but it sounds like you're only picking up on some of the videos I upload to the channel, because I do a real mix of videos. And when you look back to when I first started Geekanoids, a lot of them were just sort of top down, viewing the product, and then as I gained confidence back in, oh dear, so 6 years ago, so around about 2007, 2008, I started presenting to the camera where I was sitting at a desk. Then I switched back to doing top-down videos, and now I just do a mix of videos. So sometimes I sit here and talk to you like this, and I show you the occasional product. Sometimes I'm sitting in the other corner of the studio at my desk, and I'm showing you the product like that. But I still do the top-down videos. I've got my recording area in that corner of the studio, and that's where I set the tripod up facing down, so you just see the product. And I would say pretty much 50% of my videos now are top-down, and the other 50% are me presenting to the camera. And I just do it that way because it's a nice mix. So sometimes you see me, whether that's a good thing or not, and sometimes you just see the product. And I think the way I look at it is if I do what I would say is a larger product, then I tend to do that sitting at the desk. And if they're smaller products like smartphones, where you need to see them like up close and personal, you want to see the details, and also the little cases and the iPad cases, I tend to do those top down. So yeah, that's the reason why. It's just so there's a nice mix of videos on the channel, and I just thank you for your question. That's a really good question. Now, I'm going to record some more questions and answers later on in this video, but I must just show you this. Let me just close my laptop down. This says, enjoy your gift, and it's from, and I hope I get your name correct, Shabib Al-Kahanti, or, oh no, here we go, I'll try it again, Shabib Al-Katani. Sorry, that's a really difficult name to pronounce, but Shabib, I just want to say big thank you for being so generous and sending me this gift. And this is the first one, and yes, 2 gifts, and I hope you can see this clearly. Let me just sit up a little bit, because I'm relaxing. This is a Star Wars Darth Vader bobblehead. Look at that. Absolutely love it. I hope you can see that, and the light's not catching the packaging. So that's the first one. And actually, let me just come around the back of the camera so I can check you can see this second one properly. This is the second one. And this is a Stormtrooper bobblehead. and I just cannot thank you enough. I absolutely love them. I really do love them. These two will take pride of place on my shelf. They're going to go up on my shelf a little bit later, and I just thank you for your generosity. Absolutely awesome. Thank you very, very much, Shabib. So it's been a fairly busy day today. It's now roughly about sort of 10 o'clock at night, and I ended up practically all day, apart from obviously cooking lunch and cooking dinner, surfing the internet to try and find a solution to not just displaying but using the new Mac Pro that's coming towards the end of the month in the new studio setup, because I'm currently looking at changing how things are arranged in the studio. For those of you who don't know, by the way, I'm actually in the editing room at the moment. This is probably an area you don't see very often because this is just where I do work. I don't really do any of the recording of videos. But anyway, I digress. So I've been looking for new desking solutions, and I think I've come to the conclusion that instead of looking for like a desk and all-in-one solution, I'm going to try something a little bit more modular so the desk can remain very, very clear. And I don't want to give too much away because I like to keep the new studio tour a surprise for you. But it's not just going to be a desk this time. I'm going to go for sort of two separate items. And I've actually searched for probably about 3 days now. Not all the time, but off and on. And it amazes me that on my search today, so roughly after about maybe 5 or 6 hours searching, it was only in the last 30 minutes that I found a website that has got what looks like to be the ideal sort of stand or solution for the new Mac Pro, where I can have something that's a little bit more unique rather than run-of-the-mill. Now, up until now, I have more or less always gone for IKEA furniture, and that's because you can mix and match the table legs with different desktops. But this time around, I thought I would try something different. So, no spoilers, but I'm trying to get everything in place for probably about 2 to 3 weeks' time, something like that. Might be a little bit longer, and that should be perfect timing for after I've done my Mac Pro coverage, assuming the Mac Pro actually ships in January and I do my coverage towards the end of January, beginning of February, and then the new studio solution should come into play maybe the first or second week of February. So I'm really looking forward to sharing that all with you. So that's it for my Saturday. I'm going to retire for the evening now, but don't stop watching this video because I've got more questions and answers coming up next. So now it's Sunday and I got up nice and early. I've had a shower, change of clothes of course, and I'm back to you with more questions. And the first one is sort of a question, but not really a question, and it's from Cyber Chick Geek. My question anyway though, why do you still have a label on the new sofa? You really weren't meant to spot that. I just haven't got round to taking it off. And the next question is, actually I've answered this question already, but I will answer it again because it's from a different person, and I'm not sure whether I answered it yesterday or in the previous Q&A, which is from Roger White, and it's asking me if I get one of these Drobo transporters in for review. Well, I certainly will be trying to get one of those in. It seems like a very popular product actually. I think if I don't get one in for review, I might just try and pick one up, just sort of buy one in, because I'd probably use it anyway. But anyway, let's go over to Twitter and see what questions have come in via Twitter. Oh wow, there's quite a few here. So let's start this off. Well, I've got one here from Jonas. What do you think of the Sony Xperia Z1 Compact? Now that's a new smartphone that was recently announced, and it looks good. I like the Sony Xperia Z and the compact version. A lot of manufacturers are doing this now. They're making sort of either smaller versions or larger versions of their smartphone. And I think it's a great idea. Why not? And I do like that Sony Xperia range. Charles Parker asks, what tech are you most excited for in 2014? Well, the thing I'm most excited for is something that was announced right at the back end of 2013. Well, not announced, launched. And that is the new Mac Pro, which I've had on order since it was available to order, and I'm waiting for that to actually come in. And I think I'm most excited for that because it's just going to be really fast and it looks very nicely designed and made. Ben asks, your favourite tech product so far? Well, I know it's a little bit predictable, but I'm going to have to say my iPhone 5S, purely because it's the product I probably use most. Second to that must be the camera that I'm actually recording this on, which is the Sony RX100 Mark II. Fantastic compact camera. So those two bits of tech. Really good question that as well. Roger White again, but this time via Twitter. Do you think Apple will release an updated Thunderbolt 2 display soon for the new Mac Pro and MacBook Pro? Yes, I do think they will, and I'm expecting them to probably do it at WWDC. I don't think it'll come before that. It might even come a little bit later in the year. Perhaps they're waiting until they can actually deliver that sort of resolution display for a decent price. That's what my prediction is anyway. But yeah, they will do it. It's something they must do. And then Richard Foster asks, have you ever had a review where you were really excited for the product only for it to be disappointing upon review? Well, I can't say I've had something that I've been excited about that's then not met my expectations. And the main products that get me very excited are mainly hardware. So things like new computers, new smartphones, Apple products as a sort of general. I always get excited when Apple release something. But none of them really disappoint. Sometimes they've got negative points that don't live up to my expectations, but they are generally okay, you know, and I always point out the positives and the negatives. But with regards to some things that have been really disappointed, I've mentioned this in a previous video. Years and years ago, I did have a Uniross solar battery charger. So you put in some AA batteries, rechargeable ones, and you were meant to sit it in the sun, and the solar panel was meant to recharge the batteries. But I think in all fairness, I was testing it towards the autumn time, and we don't get fantastic sun or a fantastic summer in the UK anyway, and it just wouldn't charge the batteries. So I didn't even do a review on it. I think I just threw it in the bin. I didn't put the batteries in the bin, I just put the charger in the bin. But yeah, good question, very good question, and very thought-provoking as well. In fact, if you guys and girls have ever had a product, either if you're a reviewer or you're a consumer, if you've ever bought something that has really not lived up to expectations, let me know what it was and what it didn't do in the comment section below. So the rest of the day was primarily chilling, and it's been a good day, a very good day indeed. We had a really nice dinner as well. It's sort of this ribbon pasta, chicken, bacon, beans and creme fraiche. Very nice indeed. And it was really good. So a good Sunday. I hope everyone has had a fantastic weekend as well. That's it for the questions. I hope you enjoy this sort of format of video. I really enjoy answering the questions. I'll leave details in the video description of how you can leave me questions for next weekend's Q&A session, and also details of how you can send in donation requests as well. So that's it for this video. I hope you all had a fantastic weekend, and I will see you all in the next video. Thanks so much for watching the video. If you'd like to watch another amazing video from me, please do click that top box. And if you want to subscribe to my geeky channel, click the red box on the bottom of your screen now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.